I started off, the volume is not there, started off with this to just tell you how Flax is bringing on. So this is a case of a hard cataract. Now the advantage of being on Flax is you could make it as multiple grid patterns could be done. So multiple grid patterns and the fracture planes are already ready. So all you need to do is to just get the purchase of your phaco probe onto the nuclear matter, just separate it along the planes, and of course you are abetted with a good phaco machine which ensures that the AC is absolutely chamber. So the combination of two sophisticated technologies, you find that it's a practically unedited video and you are able to just bring down your settings at different time points and go on to your cortex. The only thing, the cortex is vertically cut here, so you need to go and strip and approach the cortex from inferiorly, and then of course it's all about routine anterior capsule polishing and placing your lens. The advantage is the hard cataract could be challenged by excessive manipulation in the eye, a rare situation of zonular dialysis, a prolonged surgical time, and all these get obviated. Now this is a total cataract, and we know that the femtosecond laser cannot penetrate an opaque media, so you could stop just with creating the rexes, but you need to stain it to know whether the tissue bridges were actually cut and whether you're getting a free floating rexes as it happened here. Now the reason why you cannot try to create these wedges and the fracture planes is you are not able to identify the anterior offset and the posterior offset, and you could get erroneous and you could actually have a posterior capsule rupture and the nucleus drop into the vitreous. But these kind of total cataracts, it's a flocculent kind of a cataract, so they don't have these leathery fibers, so even a manual approach takes you on because you have done the best part of it. You've got that round rexes, no rexes extension, none of those challenges which could happen in a total cataract or an intermittent cataract. And the surgery of course then goes on in the uneventfully. You're bringing down your phaco parameters as you come to those last nuclear fragments so that the posterior capsule doesn't get trampolining into the phaco probe. And then of course the usual minor difficulty, an early learning curve to get the cortex out, but once you have learned the art, you're able to do it very well. The utter ease with which you're able to perform these cases without the challenge of any probable complication takes Flax one step ahead. Although I'm sure in this audience there are many of us who could do a great surgery and manage it as premium, even the manual approach. Now this is the next situation. This is a case of a fibrosed cataract. So you need to, plan was to have a rexis beyond this fibrous girdle. And of course the patient was very keen on addressing the astigmatism. So the arcuates were created. He had an astigmatism of less than 1 diopter. And the egress of those cavitation bubbles tells us that the surgery, the femtodissection is complete. But then there is a challenge here, so I would stain the capsule. Normally I would just bunch up the rexes and lift it out because that area of dense girdle, you're not sure, it's opaque. So you're not sure whether the femtosecond laser could have penetrated that area. So I tried to peel the rexes from one direction and then go approach in the other direction. More than 3/4 of the circumference of the rexes is cut. But here I try valiantly, but there comes a point when we need to accept the limitation of the technology in certain situations, and going beyond that you would end up with a zonular dialysis. So at that time I decide that I'm going to use a Vanna scissors. See, I've tried it far too often, and then I cut it with the Vanna scissors, go about circumferentially to ensure that I have a nice clean round rexis, although a weak point at this point has to be remembered to the course of the surgery. But the nucleus looks very discolored, so I believe that I'm going to have a dense cataract to deal with. A gentle hydrodissection is done so that the nucleus rotates. But as I try to rotate the nucleus, I realize it's nothing but just a discolored disc of a traumatic cataract. So I go on to the flip mode, which is available on the Century, and I'm able to supracapsularly eat up the whole fragment, and the surgery, the cataract part of it appears to be nearly done. So it's all is there to just polish up some areas, which I know there's fibrosis, I won't be able to do a great job. But what I didn't anticipate was such a friable posterior capsule, and it keeps getting caught into the aspiration probe. I go in with an infusion and try to separate it, but again gets caught. One thing comes to light, that such a friable capsule is going to be quite redundant, cannot hold the intraocular lens. So I decide to do an anterior vitrectomy and eat up this posterior capsule, or rather create an iatrogenic posterior capsular rent. And once I've ensured I've done a good vitrectomy as it goes on, Then I would inject a little tricot, which comes to our rescue in all these moments when you need to know that you have delineate any residual vitreous strands to see you have done a complete job of it. And once this is done, it is clearly visible that you have a nice round rexus. So all I need to do now is change my plan of action from a single piece IOL, balloon up the space in front of the iris, and insert a 3-piece IOL such that the haptics rest on the sulcus, and do an optic capture, and you have a well-centered eye and IOL in the with an optic capture doing very well. Now this was a third case of a little mild subluxation. What you need to do in a subluxation is you can decenter the rexus so that it comes to overlie the nuclear matter. You could use your cursors to measure the anterior offset and the posterior offset, because you need to remember there's a tilt in the lens in a subluxation, and that has to be compensated. And the other important message is you can't just go in and bunch up the rexus and take it out, because there is always a challenge that some areas of the tissue bridges may not be cut. But as the femtodissection goes on, the rexus is complete and the femtodissection is done. So now it's a very soft cataract, but you can see that area of dialysis nasally. So I use my cystitome to nudge up, or rather bunch up the rexus from all quarters, bring it to the center. Some areas the rexus might not have got cut, so you remove it. Gentle hydro as is mandated in a subluxation. But I decide to place a CTR. It is said that you place CTR as late as you can or as early as you should, but it seems sensible with that much dialysis that if I don't place a CTR and go on with my manipulation, I would be doing an entirely different surgery, not just placing a CTR and dealing with the moment. And then a gentle just create a crunch along the fracture planes and gently bring the nucleum fragments a little supracapsularly, ensuring that the endothelium is well protected with the viscoelastic. And then of course we all remember that when a CTR is in place, we need to get that approach onto the cortex gets difficult, because the cortex gets ensnared by the CTR in the capsular fornicis. But you need to get just one bit. Once that is approached, then it becomes a lot easier. And you can see the sheath, you go underneath it, inject viscoelastic, which lifts up this epinucleus and cortex which is there. And then of course we have to keep going. The one thing which you need to keep remembering when you're doing a cataract surgery in an eye where there's zonular dialysis, and you have an undue problem, there could be a vitreous presenting, which is what I realized. And then I would go into that particular area and just do a focal vitrectomy, remove the remaining cortex, and then inject my 3-piece IOL such that the haptic of the IOL further stretches the capsular bag there, so that there is a CTR and the haptic which ensures it's done. Now this is again another case of a fibrosis. So by now you would know what my plan of action is. I would plan to size my rexus so that it goes beyond the riders of those fibrous capsule. But as you can see, I've stained it here again. But everywhere the rexus has got cut, excepting in that area where there is a little more of fibrosis. So here again I would go with the cystitome and just gently nudge it so that some of the areas are cut, some are not cut, and there I have a clear round rexus, and I've bailed myself out of this situation. And a nice optic capture, overlap of the rexus. Now this is a polar cataract, so the plan of action to have multiple fractured nuclear chops and multiple cylinders are created. The idea is we need to believe that the posterior capsule could dehisce at any time, so having these multiple endonucleus cylinders would keep the posterior capsule well protected. I'm able to bunch up the rexus and take it off, do a hydrodelamination, keep decompressing, and then I approach the superficial area, all while the posterior area is well held and there is no chance of the capsular bag to collapse, which could get the vitreous herniating forward. So I keep eating up, chewing up the nucleus as it goes on, and then finally I would come to just that epinuclear shell which has already got weakened up, and then all I need to do is just to get my phaco to get to a hold of it and eat up the entire epinucleus. So I've this far managed to deal with it, and now of course we can never be complacent at any point of time. We need to tease the cortex, ensure that we are quite careful in our surgical maneuvers, ensure that the anterior chamber doesn't shallow in these eyes, and then manage to place intraocular lens, and of course ensure the viscoelastic is removed in front and behind the lens. Now this was a case of a RK. So these are hypertrophic scars, and like in any opaque media, the femtosecond laser might not have created an ideal rexus, Of course, the grid patterns being there, I was not able to visualize that how the exactly whether there was any rexis extension which was possible.
Chitra.
So then I'm nearly getting over. So then the whole fragment gets over. It appears that I've done pretty well so far. When the end towards the end, if you could see carefully, sub-incisionally, there's a rexis extension which is exactly along the incision, and thus it goes on. Now the last case which I'm going to show you is a case of an ICL which is there and a cataract below. There are certain changes which you need to do. You have to increase the offset from the anterior capsule and the posterior capsule because there is an optical device in the eye. In spite of it, the ICL shows a cut, but beyond that, it is an uneventful surgery, a soft cataract, and you're able to do it well. So essentially, with an ICL, we need to keep in mind that the cavitation bubbles have to be fewer and the offsets have to be adjusted when you are, so that the rexis is created on the cataract, and yet you are able to remove the ICL and complete the surgery. Thank you very much. I think I went at a very rapid pace, but I hope
Yeah.
I communicated something. Thanks a lot, Dr.
Thank you.
Srinivas.
Thank you so much, Chitra. It is indeed an important